Well, I can't necessarily say that I'm surprised by this news regarding GameStop because GameStop has been going to hell for years now, and especially after COVID. And you look at their latest earnings report in relation to this past year. I mean, it actually went down. Even though they made a lot, it went down. They closed down a lot of stores, like dating back to like the late teens. And and it seems like they're going to be closing down, more stores in the future. In fact, a lot of people are predicting that GameStop is going to linger around for like another 4 to 5 years or so. But but yeah, it turns out that this past year, in terms of like net sales, GameStop had made like 5.2 billion in comparison to that of 2022, which was like 5.9 billion for that fiscal year. And obviously that's not a good sign for GameStop. And it turns out that GameStop has closed like at least like 462 stores like between like 2019 and 2020. And this was like right around the time COVID became a thing, so that's understandable because a lot of businesses were shutting down at that time. But it turns out that more layoffs are going to be coming on the way. I don't have a specific number or anything like that, but I know that the trend regarding the layoffs for GameStop hasn't been good because it was reported back in the spring of this past year that in Ireland all the GameStop locations had closed down, and I think there was like 35 stores in Ireland, and all of them basically have or are going to be closed down, and and it turns out that GameStop quarterly revenue had fell drastically. It was reported back in March of 2023 that their quarterly revenue fell down by like 19%. So, that's big, for the most part. That's a big deal. And, and honestly, at this point, I'm not exactly sure what purpose GameStop serves because when it comes down to purchasing video games, whether they're new or used, you have plenty of options on where you want to buy your video games, whether it's Walmart, whether it's Walmart for new games, whether you go to a used video game store, whether you go to Amazon to buy anything new or used. Um, it seems like e-commerce is becoming a big thing, like buying things online and having it delivered to your door is a really big thing, or just, buying things on online gaming stores through digital downloads. That seems to be a preferred method that a lot of people like to use in relation to purchasing video games. GameStop is just not as popular as it was during the 2000s or early teens for the most part because the landscape of gaming has changed a lot. The economy has changed a lot. And honestly, I can't even remember the last time I actually went to a GameStop store to buy anything. In fact, in one of the cities next to where I live, one of the GameStop stores had shut down. It just completely just I don't think it moved away. I think it definitely just shut down, and it's probably due to underperformance because it seemed like a lot of GameStops have been underperforming for the most part. In fact, it was reported back in September of 2019 that at least 200 stores in GameStop, I guess worldwide, had shut down due to underperformance issues. I wouldn't be surprised if most of those stores that were underperforming were in America because 2019 was kind of a miserable year for a lot of people. And like for the most part, it seemed like the economy has just been getting worse and worse like every year. So, like I have no idea, exactly how long GameStop is going to be around because I believe like this past quarter, it was reported they had like a 2.9 million loss that was recorded on the part of GameStop. And I'm like, if that's the case, that's not good. It seems like they're just losing money like, bit by bit, like every other year. And it doesn't seem like a trend that's going to like significantly reverse anytime soon. And a lot of people wonder what this means for the future of gaming. I don't think it's going to I don't think GameStop going away is going to drastically affect anything for the most part. And and honestly, I do feel that for the most part, people have more options in terms of how they want to play games, where to buy games, to the point where even though like GameStop is still worth billions, they're going to keep losing money over time if they keep shutting down more stores. A lot of it has to do with the fact that people aren't buying from the stores anymore, the fact that employees are not showing up to work, the fact that their stock keeps tanking, just various things in general that's contributing to GameStop's decline. And honestly, like these layoffs are most likely are going to hit hard in the future. We're probably going to get layoffs probably the following year as well. The year after that, it's going to just keep continuing for the most part. And and it's like I said, at this point I have no idea what purpose GameStop even serves anymore. Because all the services that they offer for the most part, you can get them somewhere else from another place, when it comes down to used video games, you have more options, while with GameStop, it's just current generation and last generation games, but they're really trying to get you to buy current generation games and game systems because they got to bring in that revenue. So, um, it's tough for GameStop. Um, and again, I don't see this trend, um, getting better anytime soon. And I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see how things are like towards the end of the year in relation to their fiscal earnings and their reports as far as net sales and net revenue and all that stuff is concerned. But but yeah, things are not really looking good for GameStop at all. And I wouldn't be surprised if GameStop went under within the next 2 to 3 years.